Never a dull moment.
win this war.
Did you break another one of the straps on your armor? Here, let me show you another knot. It's just as good, but it won't fray so quickly.
Whoa, thanks. Show me that again.
The spirits guide me.
I appreciate privacy.
While the survivors wander the dungeons, the battle on the surface rages on. The warriors of Canabris are trying to defend the Wardstone, but their strength is flagging. Their resistance is valiant, yet it will all be in vain if no one rises up to turn the tide.
Move aside.
Open your heart to me.
Ona Arayanan.
Don't know? Don't care.
The half-orc before you, wearing armor adorned with Iomeda's golden swords, is clearly exhausted. She obviously hasn't gotten much sleep over the last few days. There's soot on her face and fresh blood on her sword. Her hazel eyes are hard and focused, and her firm voice sounds accustomed to giving orders. She sizes you up, surprised, judging whether you are friend or foe, and opens her mouth to ask you something, but freezes when she spots Anevia. Anevia Tirabate is the Eagle Watch's most adept scout. She was among the unlucky ones who ended up with you in the dungeons under Canabris, and accompanied you on the long and exhausting journey to the surface.
By the goddess, Nevi, I'd almost lost all hope.
Everything's fine, Beth. I'm here. I'm here. This here's a new friend. He rounded up those of us who survived the fall and led us up to the surface. Without him, we'd never have made it out. Let me introduce you to my wife, Arabeth Tirabade, head of the Eagle Watch.
Until the army arrives, I'm the temporary warden of Canabras. And you're just in time. As you can see, we're in the middle of a battle. And thank you for getting Anevia out of there. Very good. Report to me in full when we get back to the Defender's Heart. It's our temporary headquarters. Right now, the most dangerous cultists are here. The ones occupying the Grey Garrison. The Grey Garrison. Until recently, it served as barracks for the Crusaders, but it's now been taken over by cultists. When the demons attacked the city, their main target was the Ward Stone. I trust I don't have to explain to you what the Ward Stone is and how important it is to the Crusaders. We must retake it at any cost, or the fall of Canabras will be the beginning of the end of the Crusades, and with them, the rest of the world.
In 4433, Eroden defeated a cult dedicated to the demon lord Descari, making the north of Avistan safe from demonic influence. However, this protection ended with Eroden's death in 4606. The same year, the world wound was opened by the witch Ariela Forlesh working in conjunction with her demonic patron, Descari. Demons poured out and overran the barbarian nation of Sark Oris. The world wound was not large at first, but soon it abruptly expanded. As it kept growing, it came to be seen as a threat to the entire world. The remaining clerics of Eroden and the clerics of his follower Iomede took it upon themselves to defeat the demons and seal the world wound. Answering their call, thousands of pilgrim crusaders flooded up the river road and into Mendef, the nearest neighboring kingdom of former Sark Oris. Thus the Mendevian Crusades were born. The Ward Stones are a chain of powerful artifacts keeping the world wound's expansion at bay. The first and greatest in the chain was erected in the city of Canabras by the hand of the inheritor himself, a golden-winged angel sent by the goddess Iomede.
I see that you had a difficult journey to the surface. You need to rest. But there's a lot riding on this battle. I have no right to command you, but I'm asking you to help us. The Ward Stones are a gift of Iomede. Created personally by her herald, a mighty angel, and a general of the celestial armies. The Ward Stones keep the world wound from expanding. They stand along the border of the territory controlled by the demons, creating a barrier to keep them inside. The Canabras obelisk was the first to be placed. It is the key to the whole barrier. We cannot leave it in the hands of those monsters from the abyss.
A herald is a deity's favored servant who acts as a messenger and emissary throughout the planes. While not necessarily the most powerful of a deity's servants, heralds embody fundamental elements of a god's faiths and philosophies, and thus prove particularly suited to interactions with mortal worshippers. Iomeda's herald, the hand of the inheritor, is a warrior angel, always ready to answer Iomeda's call whenever she must directly intervene on Golarion. With his angelic speed and might, he leads the charge when the inheritor's celestial armies must go to war. A veteran of countless sorties into the abyss, the hand fights with a song of battle on his lips and unbreakable courage in his heart. When he is not needed on Golarion, he escorts noble souls through the astral plane to Pharasma's court, patrols the borders of Iomeda's realm in search of abominations from the abyss, duels devils on neutral ground to better learn their tactics, and watches over youths his patron has marked for greatness.
The demons have long laid siege to Canabras, but this time, their lord Descari appeared in the flesh. He ripped the Ward Stone from the ground and hurled it halfway across the city to here. I thought the stone was destroyed, but it seems all is not lost, yet. Dascari has gone, but the Wardstone is surrounded by a horde of those creatures. What are they going to do to it? Nothing good, that's for certain.
But how did he do that? He's a demon! The Wardstone should have burned his filthy hide!
It should have. But what happened, happened. We don't know why. Most people in Canabras think that the children of the First Crusaders are simply a legend. Other people say that the day you emerge on the surface heralds the start of the end of the world. I'm not superstitious, but the situation is apocalyptic, all right. Having a living legend on our side can't hurt.
Come on, living legend? A walking folktale, maybe? I just need to make sure I don't turn into a running joke.
The city's gone. Most of the defenders, including the Dragon Terendelev, fell in the first few hours. The civilians either fled or died in the chaos. The place is overrun with cultists and demons.
The demonic threat united all kinds of creatures in supporting the Crusaders. Among them was a silver dragon named Terendelev, who protected Canabras for many years, aiding the army of Queen Gaffrey. It was the power and courage of Terendelev that held back the hordes of Balar Khorramzadeh in 4692. However, even the silver dragon was helpless when the demon lord Dascari himself appeared in Canabras. She perished right before your eyes, protecting the city and its residents to her dying breath.
Don't talk like that. Canabras hasn't fallen. Not while it still has defenders like you and me.
Sweet words don't change the grim truth.
No, she's right. Thank you, Knight. Until we no longer have the strength to hold a weapon, until Iomedae abandons us, we will fight for Canabras. That's the spirit. You, take Anavia to the rear. The rest of you with me.
That stupid locust. I'm not prepared for this.
Lord Horgus Gwyrm, forgive me. I did not realize we had civilians among us. My people will escort you somewhere safe. To the extent that anywhere in Canabras can be said to be safe right now.
That's right, fighting spirit is the one thing that we've got plenty of. Actual fighting power, that's not so great. Fighting know-how, even worse. But fighting spirit, at least we're rich in that.
For Iomedae! For the Queen! Kill the beast!
Make way!
A bright future awaits us.
I'll split you in half!
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Out of my way!
The spirits demand your blood.
The Inheritor, guide my blade! The light, take you!
You won't survive me. Endure this!
You are today's sacrifice!
Now what?
What's this? Do we have guests? Just in time. The place is a bit of a mess, and I haven't even poured the blood into the goblets yet. Why don't you... Oh! What an unexpected surprise! Staunton, my little sweetheart. Long time no see. I've missed you so much. Have you missed me? Admit it. You missed me terribly.
Monaco. You again, you wench!
Minago, the one who... Be careful. She's one of the deadliest creatures in the whole demon horde. She was once responsible for a massacre in Canabras. She must be back to finish what she started.
The powerful Lilitumi Nago is one of the demons whose names in Mendef are always spoken with a curse. She's the author of two of the most horrific atrocities in the history of the Crusades, the Fall of Drazen, and the Red Morning Massacre of Canabers.
How rude! You're one to talk, mortal, with a face that even a mother would loathe. Staunton, sweetie. You're not going to let your friends speak to me like that, are you?
That wench? She's the one who led me astray. She's the reason my life has gone to the abyss. She's the reason why Drazen fell.
Oh my, like butter wouldn't melt. What I remember is how eagerly you would run to our trysts, how you begged to see me again, how you promised you'd do anything I asked. By your own free will, you said this. And now you claim that Drazen fell because of me. No, no, my dear. That was entirely your own doing.
I'll beat your lying lips into your filthy throat!
Now, Staunton, don't say things like that. Not about these lips, the ones you kissed so sweetly. Staunton, dearest, don't you love me anymore? Remember how good we were together? I was so hoping that we could patch things up.
I'll kill you!
Save the last one for me.
Make every strike count.
Go for their hearts!
strong monk.
Into the fray!
Call me again if you need to.
As soon as you step into the chamber, your vision seems to darken and your knees buckle, you struggle to keep your balance. The air in here is laden with the power coming from the stone. Suddenly, your head is filled with voices, screaming, whispering, cackling, threatening, voices pleading for help, shrieking curses and taunts. You blink, and the illusion passes.
Congratulations. You made it all the way here. This is it, your precious wardstone. But what are you planning to do now, I could kill you where you stand, but wouldn't it be nice if you could die in battle like heroes? No. I want you to die in despair, scrabbling around like rats in the blighted ruins of your city, blind and broken, your flesh scabbed and seeping, and every moment knowing precisely what was done to you.
Sounds terrifying, except that's how we've been living for generations.
There isn't a soul that can resist the temptations of the abyss. Even a stone can be turned. I'm not joking. Your precious wardstone, weakened from the injury inflicted by Discari, has almost succumbed to my charms. Soon the whole barrier around the world wound, the gift of your useless goddess, will be a weapon of the abyss. Just a little more and boom! Every city with one of these eyesores stuck in the middle of it, from Canabras to Nerosian, will turn into smoking craters, and all the mortals into red sludge beneath our hooves. So you have a choice, especially you, my pet. Kiss me on my dainty hoof, pledge your loyalty to Baphomet, and when the world falls, its ruin shall be yours.
Demon Lord of Beasts, Labyrinths, and Minotaurs, Baphomet was the first and greatest Minotaur, a beast created by Lamishto to serve as a leader for her latest creations. Seeking even greater favor from the Mother of Monsters, Baphomet sought to raid Hell to steal Asmodeus's ruby rod. Unfortunately for him, he was caught. As punishment, the Prince of Darkness inscribed his own symbol on the Minotaur Lord's brow with the nail of his index finger and imprisoned him in a maze so cunningly crafted that Asmodeus declared it unsolvable. In this act, the Lord of Hell overstepped. The cunning Baphomet not only solved the maze after only a decade, he stole the labyrinth itself from Hell, taking it with him when he returned to the abyss. Baphomet claimed this new realm for himself. He plots and schemes from his redoubt to return to Hell, this time not to steal from Asmodeus, but to slay him.
The sweetest spoils of war is gloating over your broken and humiliated enemy. You want to deny me that pleasure?
You feel a sudden rush of wild rage, and with it comes a feeling of monstrous, unbridled destructive power. It is like the power you felt in the shield maze, when you were confronting Savaim Lek, but now it feels more fully fledged, more conscious.
You've already forgotten me. You mortals have awfully short memories, even shorter than your little lives. Staunton, sweetums. Don't you want to introduce me to your friends properly? No? Well, I'd better do it myself. I am Minago, Lily II and faithful servant of Baphomet, and leader of his armies. The city is mine now. I'm just starting to settle in, get things just how I like them. But once I'm finished, I promise you, the results will be simply to die for.
Lilitus are subversive and hidden horrors, demons who work subtly in their constant quest to destroy and devastate. Lilitus enjoy few things more than leading mortals into all manner of sinful acts, in the hope that when the mortal perishes, their soul will fuel the abyss. The exact nature of sin that a Lilith tempts a mortal into committing varies, for these demons are adept at reading mortal desires and secrets, quickly discerning which sins a specific target can be convinced to perform. Liliths possess a hideous ability, they can turn their victims into husks, immobile and desiccated bodies that do not actually die, but preserve their life and consciousness. Lilith can assume the form of their husks, stealing their face and appearance and treating their poor victims like a living wardrobe.
And it was such a charming little place until you sullied it with your presence. It had such lovely boulevards, quiet and shaded. You took those away from me, and I shan't forgive you for that.
They've done much worse things than spoil the promenades. All the people they've killed.
Yes, of course, you're right. I grieve for the common folk as well.
You feel righteous fury swell within you. How dare this demon besmirch the ground of this beautiful world with her hooves, a world created by the gods and cultivated by mortals. And these cultists, how dare they betray all that is sacred in this world and join the forces of the foulest evil? Can they repent and redeem themselves, or have they followed the path of evil past the point of no return? The wardstone seems to sense your thoughts, the chamber grows slightly brighter.
Split you in half!
You won't survive me.
I'm tired of playing around now. You want to know what will happen when I'm done with the wardstone? Here's a little demonstration.
The Demoness whispers a spell and a wave of darkness sweeps through the chamber. Your companions wince in pain, but it is nothing compared to what you feel. Thousands of voices once again burst into your mind, drowning you in their moans, screams, and sobs. Pain rocks through your skull.
Iomade is with us!
Yes, yes. Keep telling yourself that.
The roar of voices blends into an unbearable wall of screaming. Your vision goes dark.
They will break against our resolve.
Praise Iomade, you woke up. Healing your wounds was easy, but you were unconscious for so long I was starting to worry we'd lost you. We couldn't stand up to the demoness. Her spells were too strong. It's all right. We'll handle it somehow. You blacked out, but Staunton and I managed to get you here to the Defender's Heart. It used to be a tavern, but now it's our headquarters. We're gathering our forces here, and we're preparing to strike back. The Ward Stones are a gift of Iomade. Created personally by her herald, a mighty angel, and a general of the Celestial armies. The Ward Stones keep the world wound from expanding. They stand along the border of the territory controlled by the demons, creating a barrier to keep them inside. The Canabris obelisk was the first to be placed. It is the key to the whole barrier. We cannot leave it in the hands of those monsters from the abyss. Bad, but not hopeless. We're constantly getting news, and new sources of resistance keep springing up in the districts where everyone seemed to be dead. The survivors are gathering here. You should see them. Their faces, their eyes burning with determination. The city is destroyed, but our resistance is not broken. We will keep fighting. You heard what the demon said. They're going to desecrate the Ward Stone and blow up the whole barrier around the World Wound. That would be an even worse disaster than the World Wound's expansion before the Second Crusade. Not only Canabris, but every city with a Ward Stone will be destroyed, including the capital. We can't allow that no matter what. We will retake it, even destroy it if we must. Iomade's gift must not become a weapon of the abyss. Demons have been filling Canabris with their spies and infiltrators for a long time. Unfortunately, I don't have enough people to attack the place right now, at least not blindly. I'd be grateful if you snuck in there and scouted out the situation. But just scouting. Don't be a hero.
Demons are malign and destructive creatures native to the outer sphere plane known as the Abyss. Demons exist for one reason, to destroy. Where their more lawful counterparts, the devils of hell, seek to twist mortal minds and values to remake and reshape them into reflections of their own evil, demons seek only to maim, ruin, and feed. They recruit mortal life only if such cohorts speed along the eventual destruction of hope and goodness. Death is, in some ways, their enemy, for a mortal who dies can often escape a demon's depredations and flee to their just reward in the afterlife. It is the prolonging of mortal pain and suffering that fuels a demon's lusts and desires, for it is partially from mortal sin and cruelty that these monstrous fiends were born.
Wait. What you did in the Grey Garrison convinced me. You're one of the best warriors left in the city. We need someone with your wits and fighting strength. I know I can't command you, but I'm asking you. Help us fight for Canabris. First of all, we need to decide what to do with the stone once we get it. What I'm about to say is classified. A traveler came to the city recently. A blind elf calling himself the Storyteller. He insisted he be allowed to examine the ward stone, and he raised the alarm when his study was finished. Even before the demon attack, he had found some damage or flaw in the stone.
Prelate Hulrune dismissed his words as nonsense, borderline blasphemy. But between you and me, the prelate's opinion isn't worth much.
I think the storyteller knew what he was talking about. We could use his advice right now, if only we knew where he was. I remember the storyteller spent a lot of time talking to Staunton, a dwarf from my unit. You saw him during the demon attack. The elf asked him about the history of the Crusades. Maybe the storyteller told Staunton something about where we could find him if anything happened.
Canabras' famed prelate, Hulrun Shapuk, first gained the trust and admiration of city's people by organizing inquisitions against suspected demon worshippers and witches. Hulrun and his force of elite witch hunters exposed dozens of cultists and spies, and, it is said, executed many more under suspicion but with no real proof. These events started the Third Crusade, widely accepted as the least effective and most self-destructive of the 4 crusades. Still, Hulrun evoked respect and admiration in the populace as well as fear, and agreed to guide the city as its prelate.
There's another problem. After the attack, the demons began to gather their forces at the Grey Garrison.
It'll be even harder to take them with a head-on assault. But I once heard soldiers talking about a secret entrance to the garrison. Trouble is, I have no idea where to look for it. While you explore the city, please keep your eyes open, in case you find something we can use.
And one last thing. The Eagle Watch has lost a lot of soldiers recently. Some were killed, but others simply haven't been seen since the attack. In the chaos that is now Canabras, it's next to impossible to confirm anything for sure. One of the missing fighters is Janna Aldori, a new recruit in the Watch. She got along well with Sela, and she often went drinking with her. I honestly thought Sela and Janna had died together. But now Sela's returned with you, and there's no sign of Janna. If you learn anything of her whereabouts when you're out in the city, please report back. May the goddess help you. We're still fighting, which means that Canabras still hasn't fallen. If you come across any groups in the city that can fight, send them here to the Defender's Heart. We'll need every fighter we can muster for the final assault. Yes, one more thing. If you're in the area, check out this address. It's our house, mine and Inevia's. Well, it was our house. If the building is still standing, open the hidden compartment in the kitchen. It's filled with supplies for a rainy day. You can take whatever you find. You have more need of it.